Good morning to all. Today I am going to discuss about construction and function of DC generator. Construction details, functions of DC generator, parts of DC generator, windings. From that now we are going to discuss construction details of DC generator. A DC generator consists of the following parts: yoke or magnetic frame, pole core and pole shoes, field windings, brushes and brush holders, end covers, armature core, armature winding, commutator, shaft. Here you can see that in the diagram the outer part is called yoke. So yoke and the inner part are stator and rotor. The stator, which is having field coils. So here this is the field pole, field winding, pole shoes, armature, armature winding, commutator. So this is shaft. These are the commutator segments is placed. We are observing in the construction details of the DC generator. From one by one I am going to discuss about DC generator. First, yoke or magnetic frame. The outermost frame is known as yoke. It is made up of high permeability material possessing sufficient mechanical strength. Cast iron is used in small machines and cast steel or rolled steel is employed in large machines. The yoke serves two folds on double purpose. It protects the entire machine from dust and dirt and also providing mechanical strength support for the magnetic poles. It acts as a return path for the magnetic flux. Next, we are going to discuss the parts of DC generator. Another one is pole core or pole shoes. The field magnet consists of pole core and pole shoes. In modern design, the complete pole core and pole shoes are made up of thin laminations approximately 0.5 mm thick, which are pressed together and riveted and secured to the yoke by means of screw bolted into the steel rod. The main function of the pole core is to establish the required magnetic flux. The field winding is placed on the pole core. When current passes through this field winding, the core becomes an electromagnet and establishes the magnetic flux. The flux can be varied by varying the current through the field winding. Next, the pole shoe serves double purpose. It distributes the magnetic flux uniformly in the air gap and reduces the reluctance of the magnetic path due to its larger cross section. It supports the magnetic field winding. So from that part, next one is field winding. The field winding consists of enamel coated copper or aluminum wire and are formed of wound for fit over the pole core. When current passes through the winding coils, the electromagnet the pole core which produce the necessary magnetic flux. All the field coils are connected in such a way that the adjacent poles are made up of opposite polarities. So you are observing this is the pole, these are the field windings. So this is pole shoe. So and then we can say the field windings are called exciting windings. Next, brush and brush holders. Next we are going to discuss about the following one, armature core. So here armature core is a cylindrical in shape. You are observing in the diagram, you can see a cylindrical in shape built up of high permeability silicon steel stampings or laminations of 0.5 mm thick. Each stampings being separately separated from the neighboring one by varnish. The purpose of is used to minimize the purpose of using lamination is to reduce the eddy current loss, whereas the high permeability silicon steel is used to minimize the hysteresis loss. Slots are provided on the outer periphery of the core to house the winding in proper position, and the keyway is provided on the inner diameter to fix it on the shaft. Air hose or ventilating ducts are provided, which permits the axial flow of air for cooling purpose. All the laminations are immersed in a varnish. After drying up, they are posted together by means of hydraulic press or by other means of to form an armature. Insulating paper is placed in the slots to form a closed loop and may be either in a lap or wave fashions. When the shaft is driven, the armature and armature winding also rotate in between the magnetic poles. The armature core serves the following purpose. It houses the armature conductor in slots. It provides a path low reluctance to the magnetic flux. The armature is mounted on the shaft so that when it is rotated, the conductor housed in it cut the magnetic flux. You are observing here from the diagram clearly shown. So these are the slots. In these slots we are placing the armature conductor. After that these are all laminated. Why these are laminated? To avoid the eddy current transfer for this point of view. The armature winding is laminated. So these are the slots clearly, and this is commutator segment. So this is the laminated core windings. So this is shaft. On the shaft the armature is placed. Next, armature winding. You can see these are the most important. The armature winding is usually former wound. These are first wound in a form of rectangular coils and are then pulled into the proper shape. The coils are insulated from each other. The conductors are placed in the armature slot, which are lined with the insulating material like paper. These slots or insulation is folded over the above the armature conductors placed in the slots. for fresh insulating paper will be placed and and is secured in a place by wooden or fiber wedges. EMF can be induced in a stationary conductor or moving conductors, that is in the armature windings. According to the Faraday law of electromagnetic induction, there is a EMF is induced in the conductors. Next one is commutator, which is also playing a major important role in DC generator because of the major function of the commutator to convert AC into DC. The commutator is of a cylindrical shape and is made up of wedges shaped high conductivity, hard drawn copper segments. These segments insulated from each other by a thin layer of mica. Each commutator segment is connected to an armature coil. The commutator is an important part of DC generator and it serves the following purpose. It facilitates the collecting of current from armature conductors. It converts the alternating current induced in the armature winding armature conductors into the unidirectional current in the external load circuit. Next, we are going to discuss about windings. So, in case of the DC generator, in DC machines, windings are play a major role. Armature, which is having the slots, all these slots placed by the conductors in lap or in vivo. One required conductor is placed in the slots. They are entirely laminated to protect from eddy current losses. So from that, what we have to learn, the type, what type of winding actually we are used. One is lap winding, one is wave winding. Right, one by one we are going to discuss about what are the important points of lap winding. Lap winding is the conductor are joined such a way that their parallel paths and poles are equal in number. So in case of the lap windings, pole number of poles n is equal to p. Number of poles is equal to number of parallel paths are placed. The end of the each armature coil is connected to adjacent segment on the commutator. So commutator which is having a number of segments. So each segment is connected to the armature coil. The number of brushes in the lap winding is equal to the number of parallel paths. So here what first point, the number of parallel paths are equivalent to number of poles. Next what we will listen, next point is number of parallel paths also equivalent to the number of brushes. And these brushes are equally divided into one is negative, one is positive polarity. The lap winding is mainly used in low voltage, high current machine applications. Lap winding is, so it is mainly used for low voltage and high current machine applications. Next, so this is a lap winding. These are the commutator. One is front and secondary feedback. This is, you are observing here from 2. This is the starting end of the coil. This is finishing end of the coil. Starting, finishing. So this coil is this conductor here. So this is the finish at 2. Start it from the 2 and yet at 3 of commutator. So we are observing This type of line winding, what is the major important? The number of poles is equal to number of parallel paths. Wave winding. So here wave winding is also look like a wave. So in a wave winding, only two parallel paths are provided between the positive and negative brushes. The finishing end of the one armature coil is connected to the starting end of the other armature coil. In this winding, the conductors are connected to two parallel paths irrespective of the number of poles of the machine. The number of brushes is equal to number of parallel paths. The winding is mainly used in high voltage, low current machines. What about in lab? Low voltage, high current applications were used. Here, wave windings are used for high voltage and low current applications. So this is wave winding diagram you can observe. Next, comparison between lap and wave windings. See, there are different comparisons we are observing. What is the definition of? First of all, definition, their connection, parallel path, any other name regarding lap winding or wave winding. So the definition is the coil is lapped back to the successive coil. The the coil of the winding form the wave shape. Right? First definition is coil is lapped back to the succeeding coil, and here the coil is in wave shape connection. End of the armature coil is connected to an adjacent segment on the commutator. Right. The end of the armature coil is connected to commutator segments some distance apart. The number of parallel paths equal to the total number of poles in case of the lap winding. The number of parallel paths is equal to the 2 in case of wave winding. We are also observing that in comparison, lap and wave, number of buses is equal to number of poles, number of is equal to number of parallel paths. Next, these are types parallel in case simple laps winding and multiple lap winding, simple lap winding. EMF. In case of the land winding, EMF is induced less. In case of wave winding, EMF induced is more. Number of brushes required in case of the lap windings are equal to the number of parallel paths. In case of the wave winding, two types. Lap winding simplex and duplex lap winding. In case of wave winding, progressive and retrogressive wave windings. So yes, you are also discussing the efficiency of lap and wave windings. The efficiency is less in case of the lap winding. Efficiency is high in case of the high wave winding. Any additional square is required in case of lap winding. Equalizer in dummy coil. Winding cost high because more conductor is required. Low in case of the wave winding. Uses in low voltage, high current machines, in high voltage, low current applications. These wave windings are used. Dear student, next we are going to discuss about questions and answer session. Today what we have learned, what we have discussed in the classes, construction of DC generators, construction, parts of DC generator, windings. I am remembering once before the discussion of question and answer session. So here you can observe that construction details. Outer frame of the machine is yoke. which is required provide mechanical protection. Then small and large type of machines, these are required cast iron and rolled steel type of materials. Then these type of machines are having high mechanical strength to protect the stator and rotor of the DC generators. So inside of the yoke there is a pole, north or south. Pole sides having field windings. So their space is pasted or tightened bolt with the bolt, that is pole shoes. And next, field coil, field windings, pole shoes, pole core, armature winding, armature coils, shaft, commutator, commutator segment, brushes, bearings. So the following is the actual these part of the DC generator we are discussed in the class. You can observe that all these all the machines, which means DC generator or motor, the common parts are having. You can observe in lab. So what are the part or how they are functioning? So the related information I provided, you can note all this related information. Next class I am going to discuss the next classification of degenerator. So before the end of this session, I am going to discuss some questions answer. What you are learned today's class, what you are observing today's class, that is the most important thing. So where is the field winding mounted in a DC machine? This is question. We are completely explained part of the DC generator. DC generator parts yoke, poles, pole core, pole shoes, armature winding, armature slots, and commutator segment, shaft. All this part we discussed. But what the questions? Where is field winding mounted in a DC machine? The question is stator, rotor, absent, anyone, anyone, anywhere on stator or rotor. So you know that stator which is having poles, rotor which is having armature. On pole, field winding is mounted. On pole, field winding is mounted. Pole is located inside the stator. So what is the answer from A, B, C, D, E? Stator is the answer. Right, very good. What are the material used for brushes in DC machine? Already I discussed part of DC generator, brush and bearings, commutator and commutator segments. So brush in case of when we are discussing lab point, number of parallel paths is equal to number of brushes. If positive polarity or negative polarity. But here brushes are used, the material is carbon based on. So I telling to you, all of you getting this point, particularly which material is required required pole shoes, brushes, yoke. These are important questions they can ask in examination or any competitive examination. Better to note these points, important points are very important. So next question is, function of yoke is to provide the return path of the magnetic flux. So yoke is providing the complete mechanical protection of the inside parts of a DC generator. It is correct? Yeah, true. Function of yoke is to provide the return path of magnetic flux. Next question. The angle made by brushes with the axis of adjoining field pole is 9 and 10. The brush. Next, in a DC machine, rectification process is carried out in order to get unidirectional output. The rectification process is carried out by mechanical rectification. Answer C. What will be the value of y plus v by v? So you know the one is double of the yc value. Right? Everything we have discussed, calculated in related problem in and go through your textbook. Number of parallel paths in a wave winding are equal to p, equal to p by 2, equal to 2, depends on other parameters. We discussed equal to 2 wave windings. So for examination point of view, all of you prepare and note, write the note and give to your teacher. So that is assignment. Pole shoes, commutator brushes. Define pole shoes, commutator brushes. Second, explain construction detail of DC generator within its sketch. Third question is, compare in any four aspects between lap and wave windings. So this is the important questions you have to discuss, and you can write assignment and you can submit to your concerned teachers. Thank you, one and all. Bye. Tomorrow we'll meet you again in this online class.